we're here with Lulu Hernandez, founder of, as you can see, founder of 31 Vision, US national team, world champion, media celebrity after your interviews as well. I mean, is there anything you haven't done in flag football so far?
Yeah, the past few years have been good, man. Been a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so let's take it all the way back. Obviously, growing up in America, you're pretty much born with a football in your hands, ready to go. Is that the case that you had as well?
Some people do, but me specifically no, because I'm Hispanic. So my parents are from Costa Rica and Cuba. I was born in Miami, first generation American citizen. So my mom wanted me to play baseball. Dad wanted to play like baseball and basketball. Cubans wrestle too. They'll do boxing, but Cubans don't really play. Cubans and Costa Ricans don't really play football like that. So I played flag at first, like around 6, 7 years old, recreationally at the park, and then I started playing adults when I was like 15, 16 years old.
So, I mean, you've probably went to university and played football there.
Yeah, I went to a Division II school in North Carolina called Chowan University.
What was that experience like? I mean, obviously, when you're looking at the rest of the world, we don't really have like American football in schools and colleges and universities. Or if we do, you might get like one or two people on the sideline. What were the crowd likes for your game?
The crowds, it was fun, man, because like each level has its own value. You know what I mean? So in high school, you're playing for like your area and your school, and then you got your friends and family come, and then college, it hits a little different. Still cool, but hits a little different. I'm sure my friends that played D1, they were part of the huge like stadiums. I was more small, it was just a school and some people, but crowds are still fun though.
So your step into flag football, what was the kind of real first time you played flag, not only as maybe as a kid as well, but also like kind of continuing that as an adult?
I never stopped playing. So I played first flag, and then my mom when I was 13 years old, she allowed me to play tackle because I was asking her every year, and she got sick of me, and then finally just gave in. And then so I did karate for 7 years, but I always played flag. Flag was always first because my mom was scared of concussions and getting hurt and all that stuff. So flag never stopped for me. So every tackle off season since I was 13 years old till about end of college, I was always playing flag on my off time and stuff like that. Flag was always for fun. Tackle felt more like a job and more structured, more serious. But flag was always for fun.
I mean, you said that it was it was like a fear of injuries that you weren't really allowed to play tackle football, but you've also won 2 championships with stitches in your mouth. How did that happen, and how did you kind of work your way through that one?
Oh man! So last year, we're playing in North Carolina. I'm playing with my club team. Somebody runs a drag across the middle of the field, and I switched with someone. So he expected to be covered by the guy behind him, but me in the corner, we switched routes. I passed my route to him. He passed it to me. So he's thinking he's open. So he's looking at the quarterback like this. I'm behind him, coming down on the drag, and he jumped for the ball, but he like headbutted me. He went like backwards, and my mouth was right there. He just busted my lip here. My lip was hanging. Yeah, and then I ended up going to the urgent care, getting stitched up, and then played in the format later. Because in the United States, for those of you watching that may not know about the United States tournaments and rules, we don't just have one format for the whole weekend. We have 4-on-4, 5-on-5, these rules, 5-on-5 other rules. So we played we played one format in the morning, then we had another one in the afternoon. I came back and we ended up winning the whole thing. Just wore a mouthpiece and just Then the second one that I had, this one was worse. So I had a Doberman, and my Doberman bit me in the face, and then that happened weeks before, like 3 weeks before Finland. So all of Finland and training camp before Finland, I had stitches in my mouth, and I had to eat through a straw for a week. Like it was crazy.
You were at the World Championships, not the one just gone, the one before that. So we've seen the difference in like the levels and how much you actually play. But now you've been to, I mean, you sent me a list of all the countries that you've played in. I've got it here. You've got Colombia, Scotland, Netherlands, Spain, Panama, Finland, Mexico. Looking at those ones, which one's kind of been your favourite area to play in or event to go to?
Man, that's a good one. I would say it's between, well, I guess Finland has to be one just because it was with the national team, but in terms of the country itself, the people from the country and stuff like that, and how we vibed, it's between Argentina and Colombia for sure. Like they are the people were, and Panama too though. The people in Panama are really cool. It's tough. I guess I would edge. I would put like Argentina first. I would put like Panama and Colombia kind of tied for second. Because the people just like they're so accepting there. In Argentina, like people made me custom jerseys like from their team, and the love was amazing. So I would say Argentina.
And now you're about to add on. I mean, as we record this, there's probably just over a week now to go before Adria Bowl in Croatia. Looking at that one, you were originally supposed to play for Aerosol. How did that connection come about?
So I played in Scotland, January of 24, and I met those guys there because they had an American flag on the corner of their jersey. So when I saw that, we started chatting it up, and they're based in a military station in Germany, but they're all American. And then like their uniforms are cool. It was Aerosol. They had like the jets and with the American flags. I found it pretty cool. So we just started talking, and then we were supposed to play together for Adria Bowl, but we had a miscommunication about certain things. So I ended up playing with Split Seawolves. So that's Ante and them. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Ante, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to play with them. So I'm gonna make new friends, which is pretty cool. So.
I mean, we did the draw recently for that one, and that's where he said that Aerosol couldn't make it, and that he managed to reach out to you first and kind of drag you into that team. I mean, he's very, very happy with the free agency pickup that he's managed to get on that one.
I'm happy as well, man. I've never been to Croatia, so I'm super excited to see a new country, go to Austria for the camp, make new friends. I love that. I love that about international tournaments. A lot of networking, and then we're all brought together for the same reason, just love for flag football. You know.
So part of the reason you're going to be there is for the coaching side of things. Obviously, they're going to be playing Adria Bowl, and then there's a bit of coaching afterwards. What's your kind of input on the coaching side?
I'm not sure exactly what they want me to do, but I'm willing to help the DBs. I'm willing to help the receivers or both. I can help the quarterbacks because I play quarterback as well. So whatever they need me to do, I'm just going to fill in and help out the camp however they see fit, however I can benefit everybody the most. So I'm really excited to give my American twist of coaching, because everyone has coaches from different areas. So Mexico is one way, the United States is another way. Anywhere in Europe, that's a different form. Like in Europe, for example, there's more pocket passers in Europe. And then my club quarterback, he's more of a pocket passer. But nowadays in the United States, that's becoming more of a rare breed. And now it's a lot of runners playing quarterback. Or sometimes it's two athletic people sharing the ball. And any which play can have one person or the other, kind of like Ush and Pablo on the national team. Is very similar to that. So, yeah, different play styles and stuff.
So you'll be taking 31 Vision abroad once again. What was the idea behind 31 Vision when you first set it up?
So we are, I'm happy to say this January makes us 8 years old, which is crazy to say. What started off with 31 Vision was just, to give free workouts in Miami for athletes that may not have the money or the equipment or anything to be able to get some off-season training for football, or any sport. And once I became a player on the national team, I realized quickly that I was the only Hispanic player on the team, meaning I could speak Spanish and all that fluently. So that's when the light bulb went off when I met players and coaches and the federation from Chile, Argentina, Panama, Mexico. And I started seeing man, there's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries that really want to learn, but they might not have the access to the coaching and whatnot. So I thought, you know what, let me start messaging some people. Let me start talking to some federations and seeing what we can do. And fast forward, last year was our first year doing the the clinics abroad. And we did Dominican Republic, we did Costa Rica, and then this January we just did Argentina. So I'm looking forward to, and I just came back from Panama as well, helping the national team to do their selection process, and we hosted a camp. So little by little, I'm getting into the Latin countries.
And you've also got the Golden Playbook, the new YouTube channel you've got coming through. I mean, what's the idea behind that one?
Just trying to, because I feel like there's two ways of doing things, right? So in the topic of growing flag football, you can grow flag by just putting highlights. Everyone enjoys highlights, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, we're lacking some educational content, right? So what makes pickleball so popular, right? Pickleball is easy. It's easier than tennis, right? Like anybody can pick it up and anybody can play it. I think some people with football, they find football too complicated and that's why they don't try it. So I'm trying to bridge that gap with athletes from other backgrounds to get some more interest because there are great athletes in every country. But just sometimes I feel like for flag football, countries prioritize other sports like soccer, baseball, or other things, or rugby, and the best athletes of that area aren't giving flag football any attention or have even tried playing flag. But maybe if they understood it better, they'll be more open to trying it. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the idea behind that.
I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot of attention on flag football in 2028 with the Olympics. Going back a bit when that announcement first happened, what was your kind of first thoughts? Not only having the sport that you play in the Olympics, but also in your country as well.
I just couldn't believe it. I thought, man, because I already couldn't believe that there was a national team for flag for a lot of these countries. And then taking it a step further to make it an Olympic sport, I think is amazing for the sport. And it kind of gives us some validity because there are still to this day tackle football coaches that look down on flag. And they think that I feel like some coaches feel threatened by flag, but those two things work together. Like tackle is during one season, flag football, you can do it in the off season. And any player that's trying to develop, they actually complement each other. It has nothing to do with one or the other. They both have their intricacies, and if you're a skill player, though, it helps out tremendously. And route running, coverage, using your hips and your feet, that's all beneficial. And even if you play a different sport, flag football helps in certain ways as well. So I'm happy that it became an Olympic sport, and other federations in other countries are getting more money or even being accepted as a sport. Because, for example, Colombia is dealing with that right now. We're going to do a camp in Colombia end of April, and we're trying to bring attention to it so the federation accepts that as a sport so they can start getting more funding, and the people that are on the national team, it's not such a club feel anymore. It seems more legitimate once the federation brings you in.
And looking at the announcements when flag football was announced as the Olympic sport, obviously a lot of NFL players kind of came into that bit and said, this would be great for us, and we can go over there and play. Obviously, your national team teammate who's made a couple of comments about that one. I mean, that one sent social media into like an explosion of. It was great to see so many people talking about flag football, not necessarily the way that we kind of wanted it in the first bit. But what's your thoughts on like NFL players coming in and maybe Hush's comments as well?
I agree with what Hush says, and that is he's just saying that don't think because you play in one sport that you can automatically get a bid to another sport as a guaranteed player. He just said, hey, man, I think I can beat out Patty Mahomes as a quarterback for flag in this format specifically. And he felt that any NFL current or former that wants to be a part of the team has to try out like we did. That's all it was. But then, the media got it and reworded some things and made it all a huge deal. But, I respect what he said. He's just saying what we're all thinking.
I mean, are you looking forward to kind of going up against some of the NFL players at tryouts?
I'm taking things 1 year at a time. You know what I mean? So this is the first year that the narrative, is he too old, has come into play. And I knew that day was coming, and it came at 33. So something I'm going to have to battle every year now with the U.S. national team is Lulu losing a step, blah, 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 whatever. So, but luckily for me, I'm training my butt off. I feel amazing, so I don't plan on slowing down at all. So, but still, taking it 1 year at a time. We have to try out every year. And every year it's 60 players. We all get together like we just did recently. 60 of us get together. That gets trimmed down from 60 to 18. We have 1 or 2 camps together. 18 gets trimmed down to 12, and then you travel to the tournament that year in a month or two. And that process is the same thing every year.
I mean, you mentioned that 18-man squad. It was recently announced for the US national team. When you see those posts kind of going out saying US national team, and you look through it all and you see your name and picture in there, how does that feel?
Besides relief, when I get that phone call telling me I'm on the 18, like a big relief because I work really hard to be able to play at a high level and I make sacrifices. So it's nice to see that it pays off for sure.
And looking at the trials that you've just had, obviously there's always going to be new players kind of coming through, and it's always great to see the future of your national team. Is there anyone who maybe hasn't made the squad that that was really impressed you, or somebody new that came to the tryouts that you kind of thought, yeah, they'll be coming for your spot in a couple of years?
Yeah, they actually brought a younger kid. His name is Lennox. So last year it was me and Bobo. That was the other safety. This year they went younger and they went with, I don't know how old he is to be honest, but he has a young face, so a lot younger than me. And he's a great athlete. So I look forward to battling it out with him. We already did a little bit in trials, but now that it goes from 60 to 18, now with those 18 players, it's just one field. So all eyes will be on us. Who makes the better plays? Who makes more mistakes? Stuff like that. Who wins? So I'm excited to. This is my favorite part, when all eyes are on us, one field, under a microscope. So I look forward to battling it out. Like old safety for the past couple of years versus the new kid that just came in this year. So they already told me that they're trying to replace me with a younger person if I don't meet that bar. You know what I'm saying? So it's good for me. It's motivation as well. So I'm fired up.
And obviously, each year, with the way that athletes kind of work, the skill levels get higher and higher. Has it kind of like jumped even more with the Olympic announcement and people looking at going, when you've got the younger players coming through who may be like kind of looking at the Olympics as like a key point in their career? What's the skill level like each year?
I can't speak for other countries. I know with other countries, I've spoken to the federations and stuff. They've seen a significant increase in people trying to go to their talent ID camps and people trying to go to their trials, and they actually have to cap it and make it invite only. Now, that's what Panama told me. So that's a great problem to have. But the United States, we've always had a pick of the litter, to be honest with you. Like, it's always the best that comes out. And for example, with the 18 players that are chosen right now, you can replace 5 or 6 people and the team will still be just as successful. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a small margin that separates us. The United States has that luxury.
And now looking at the future of flag football, I mean, where do you see the sport? Obviously, we've got 2028, but looking just past that, where do you kind of see it in maybe 5 years or even 10 years' time?
I can see men's flag football being in college too. Yeah, with girls, it's already happening. By then, it'll be like huge, and I can see men's flag football being a thing in the off season, like tackle, and then men's flag could be like maybe so the players can play in one and the other. It won't be at the same time, and they can make it like men's flag also in the tackle football off season. That'll be really cool to see.
I mean, there we go. I mean, so we're looking forward to seeing you in action in Adriabol in Croatia. So yeah, you'll be donning the split Seawolves jersey for that one. And as I said, Anti's very happy with this bit. But so yeah, thanks for joining on this one, and we'll see you out there.
Awesome. To anyone that's going to be at Adriabol, don't be shy. Come say hi. You know what I'm saying? I love meeting new people. If you can speak a little bit of English, we'll make it happen.